Hello everybody, Sarah here. So I'm working on a photo today, or actually there's quite a few photos, but I just have this large one. It was my favorite from the photo shoot that I took with my son, and that's not actually what he looks like, but we downloaded the Snapchat app, and it's got just some great like photo editing in it, or what kind of changes your face like while you're still taking, and then you can take the photo whenever you need to. So this was like one of my favorites. And then I have quite a few other ones that are kind of cut into small squares, and you'll see those in just a little bit. So I'm using just a plain white background, and that is just Walmart color box. I bought a stack or a pad of, I think, 20 or 30 or so. I like to do a lot of plain white backgrounds, so I just bought one of those, and it's kind of textured, and I like it. It works. And I matted the photo and the full background with some old paper from my stash, and that is, My Mind's Eye, Miss Caroline, and I think it's called Kate. I'm pretty sure. And it's just a tone-on-tone striped, like kind of teal colored. And so I just really liked it. I thought that it went well with my kit. And so I'm using the Drops of Jupiter, if I didn't say that, the scraptastic kit. And that's where a lot of the, about half of the embellishments and these little squares of scrap paper came from. And those papers are cut 2 by 2, and the photos are cut down just a little bit smaller than that. I didn't really measure the photos. I just kind of cut them so that they were all about the same size. And so the little squares go down 5 and across 2, and I didn't do any measuring. I'm just kind of going by eye, what I think looks straight, and it looks pretty good. To me, it was just too tedious sometimes to try to keep everything just too straight, and it turned out just fine. So I'm just going to put my little squares down, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to put the photos down yet because I'm not sure if I want to put anything under them. So for now, I'm just putting the squares because I know that when I do something like this type of a layout, I like to put a lot of embellishments around those little squares. It just gives me a lot of room to work with that. So I pulled out this circle, and that I'm actually not going to use that one. I'm going to use a different wood veneer. That one says Bright Eyes, and I'm going to end up using the other one that looks just like it, but it's going to say Ta-da. And I pulled out this badge from the kit, and it says The Best. The wood veneer also came from the kit. And then that little badge that I put in the up in the little clouds, that one says like little phrases like fantastic, cool, rad, and I just thought it kind of went with this layout really well. That little yay speech bubble is acrylic. It's nice and thick. That came from one of my older kits. And now I'm deciding which layers I want to use because I wanted to create kind of a ledge for my larger photo to sit on. And I'm just going to kind of stagger them a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of tape them together. And I'm going to cut all of them once I have them all taped together because I wanted a nice straight edge. I don't when I like to matte my entire background, I don't like to go over that edge. I like the matting to go all the way around. So I'm going to make sure that when I lay it down, you can still see the edge of the matte, and it only goes to the end of the white, if that makes any sense. So I took multiple photos of all of my children. So I'm going to have a lot of layouts that are going to look very similar to this. So I went ahead and cut that little ledge down, and I pulled that little heart circle from my stash. I don't even know where I got that from, but I thought it would go well. And I'm laying down that favorite chipboard sticker, but it's not going to stay there. So when I received my kit this month, I went through a lot of my stash embellishments because I really wanted to pull out a lot of what I already have and start using it up. So I think I'm going to start doing that. So one of the things that came in, or that I had in my stash that I pulled, was this tab. And I know that that was from an old scraptastic I believe This Life Noted kit, and so I'm gonna go ahead and put it actually where it's at, but I'm not gonna staple it down yet. And I decided to go ahead and put the photos down. I'm not going to be putting any embellishments around or on the photos. I thought that what I had in the opposite squares would be enough, and I didn't want to overdo it too much. I really wanted the focus to be on those photos just because they were so funny. And here is where I think, did I switch that out? I'm going to be switching that out. Yep, I'm pretty sure I just did. Okay. Well, there'll be close-up photos at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and staple that tab to the top. I like to do that every once in a while just to kind of bring something up to the top of the layout, since on that side it's fairly bare. I just didn't want the layout to be too busy. And then I'm going to go ahead and tape it down, everything. And then I'm going to tape my photo down, I believe. Oh, no. Okay, so I pulled these little words out of my stash, and they are just absolutely perfect for this layout. That one says Mr. Handsome, and I knew that I absolutely wanted to use that one because I thought it was just so funny. And since he has the goatee in the photo, which he doesn't actually have, that was part of the addition to the photo from the app. And so I just definitely wanted to put that on there because I thought it was really funny. And so I'm going to go ahead and put it on this little die cut circle, and I am going to put that badge with it. And there's going to be quite a few more of these words I'm going to use. I'm going to put the word fun on top of the tab that's in the upper right hand corner. That I'm laying down right now is a puffy sticker. And I don't remember who made those, but I do know that came in an old kit as well. I'm going to go ahead and glue that acrylic speech bubble down. And I love to use my glossy accents when I'm gluing down really, really heavy embellishments. It just holds really, really well. So I'm going to use that for the wood veneer also. Not that that's heavy, but it's actually fairly light. But it works really well on acrylic and wood pieces and keeping those in place. I'm going to tape down that badge. And, oh, I moved everything so that I could staple the arrow. I really like the way that looks. And it gives some lift to the arrow because it's really light. And I really like that. There's not really much more I'm going to do to this layout. I'm going to add the title, which is just going to be funny apps. I guess I do stick down a few more of the words from my stash. I don't typically keep things like that. Once my kits are done, I usually kind of toss those. I really shouldn't. Need to hang on to those. I don't typically use like little words like that unless I'm doing my Project Life. If I feel that it will work with Project Life, then I'm more apt to keep them. So here I'm sticking the word fun up on that tab. And then I'm punching out, I believe it's the capture, don't giggle. That one's going to go with the arrow because that's the one that's pointing to the photo of my son where he's laughing. Really good in the photo. And then I'm going to pull the word captured. And I had originally thought that I would put it by the camera, but I thought it looked really good up there with the cloud. So I wanted to just put it there. It didn't look right by the camera. So now I'm just putting the first word of my title, which is just funny apps, and just keeping it really simple. And those letters did come out of my stash. I bought a sheet and it came on like a 12 by 12 a long time ago. Well, I keep everything color coordinated. So I went ahead and cut the strips down and put them in with the correct color. That's the only way I can find anything is by color coding my my letter stickers and my embellishments. I tend to do that a lot too. Sorry about the shaking. My camera is attached to my table, and so anytime I bump the table, that's kind of what happens. So this is it. I'm just going to write my lines for journaling, or draw my lines for journaling, and then write my journaling, and that's going to be it. So stay tuned for the still photos at the end. Thanks. Bye.